with the marijuana issue, for instance, and something you and I didn't talk about when we met, I know the lies that are continuing to be told about the marijuana industry. And the old saying of follow the money tells you that basically where the money is going to be made big, there's going to be big lies. There's going to be campaigns. There's going to be marketing. I understand with this Kratom, there is a lot of money to be made, Americans included, and businessmen making money on this. And so when I drive down Gulf to Bay and I see Kratom CBD, Kratom CBD, Kratom CBD, you know, the normalization of that and not understanding what the heck it is, a parent who's so busy taking their, you know, little kids to dance and football and gymnastics doesn't, you know, have the research or the time to even understand. But when they see it, they just make this quick sort of figure that, okay, well, it's there, it must be okay. If it's there and my city sees it, it's okay. If it's there and it's next to the dance studio and the nail salon, it's okay. What can we tell people right now to kind of raise awareness that that's just because they see it doesn't mean it's okay? And then I want to get into Sarasota. So as a parent, let's talk to the parents here. What can we know just because we see something like in particularly with the Kratom issue? How can we quickly get them up to snuff on what this really is?
The best comparison I can make to parents, and I do regularly, is when synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic marijuana spice, K2, whatever you want to call it, came out. It was legally sold in every convenience store, head shop, smoke shop, and sex novelty store across the nation.
Right.
Parents were seeing it behind the counter, and your first reaction is, well, if it's sold here, it must be legal.
Right.
And we saw names on it such as Scooby Snacks. I remember reports coming in of children as young as 6 or 7 years old saying, Mom, can I get some Scooby Snacks?
Mm-hmm.
And they would actually buy it not knowing what it was.
Right.
And once they found out, they go, wait a minute, this is not a candy. And just because you see it, just because it's there, doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you and that it cannot harm you, because it can.
Right.
This is a tactic that has been being used since 2011 when the synthetic drug industry, the spice, K2, bath salt started.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same tactics. If
Mm-hmm.
you remember those, if you don't, or if you weren't exposed to it back then, what they do is they take these synthetic chemicals that are manufactured in clandestine labs in China. They spray it on a benign substance, mix it with acetone when they spray it on there, which is an industrial paint stripper, and they package it in these flashy little bags, and they call it Scooby Snacks or Sponge Bud. There's different little catchy names, and it's marketed to the young people.
It kind of just appeared and dumped all over the place. And honestly, the same thing is going to happen with this Kratom stuff. But
it already is happening.
Yeah,
they have. When you go in these convenience stores and you see these Kratom packages, and they have catchy little names like Mayan Kratom or OPMS, and if you look at the way the initials are spelled, it looks just like opium.
Mm-hmm.
They put it in the same place, the physical same place, in the same type of containers, boxes, or display cabinets that they did synthetics.
Mm-hmm.
They market it and package this the same way they did synthetics. They took the synthetic marijuana K2 playbook and they've applied it to Kratom.
Right.
The problem with Kratom is when it gets to it, the problem is in Indonesia. We just found out yesterday that the Indonesian government and their DEA equivalent are putting a massive push to have this banned in Indonesia, where Kratom is from. This is where it's indigenous to. And their exact wording was this: they will ban it for the people of Indonesia. But they don't care. It's not their responsibility what people in the United States do with it.
Oh, wow.
So they don't want their people using it, but they will sell it to us. They know something that maybe we don't know, that this stuff is not that good for you.
You think?
Will hear anecdotal testimonies about how, it's saved people's lives, it's helped them, it's done this. In my opinion, they've swapped one addiction for another when
Right.
people say it helped me get off drugs. Uh, Kratom, when it gets here, is packaged. It is turned into a pill form, a liquid form. They even have vape oils out of it. They now are, Kratom has been laced with everything from synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic cathinones, synthetic opioids. Even we've heard tales and rumors of fentanyl being mixed in Kratom. Now, that's very rare so far.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at what's happening with other drugs, especially in the opioids, with marijuana, with certain things, fentanyl is the go-to drug to mix with these to make them more high-powered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Parents need to educate themselves when it comes to their children and drugs. And in Clearwater, you have a host of avenues to educate yourself. You have normally your Department of Health. You have the Drug Enforcement Agency website has some educational videos. You have Health and Human Services, SAMHSA, has some good material. There in Clearwater, you've got Drug Free World. They have fantastic literature, is factually correct. And all of this literature is free. All you have to do is sign on, walk in, ask for it, and you can get this literature and educate yourselves so you can educate your children.
Yeah.
Because in a generation, and we call it generational drug use, generational addiction, these young people are looking to their peers.
Right.
And their peers are, if you're 14, your peer may be 16.
Sure.
And they're saying, oh, yeah, I tried this, it didn't hurt me, or oh, yes, it was a great high.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, the 14-year-old is trying something that is completely different than what that 16-year-old tried. And the adverse reactions, whether it be synthetics, whether it be Kratom, whether it be Tiana, any of these new over-the-counter drugs, for the most part, is devastating with young people.